tell me, take as long as you want, really, but how did you get into web design?
It's a funny story, actually. It was, so I did work in marketing as a marketing manager with a company in town. And then I took a little break, and then I wanted to get back into marketing, and I wanted to just do something else. And my sister at the time asked me to design a website for her in WordPress for her artist website. And I gladly obliged, and I took it on. And the more I worked on it, the more I realized that this is something that's really fun to do. And I actually enjoyed the process. And I wanted to learn more about WordPress. And so that's when that helped me get into more, just getting more educated about it. And I got my certification in WordPress after that. And then I started to take on different websites, just volunteering and, with my brothers-in-law, with friends and stuff like that. And just to get kind of experience and practice. And the more I learned, the more I wanted to learn. And that kind of evolved into me having my own business.
All right. And so how long have you been in business?
I would say 5 years.
5 years. And
Yes.
so 5 years ago, you took on your sister's website?
6 years ago, I did. So I didn't start charging right away. At first, it was just, I would kind of volunteer to take it for free and just to kind of practice and build my portfolio. And then when I started charging would be 5 years ago.
All right.
Yeah.
And how's business been then?
It's been good. It's a steady climb.
Yeah.
I would say I took some time last year to invest in more networking, and that has paid off exponentially because not only have I met new clients, but I also met third-party providers that I can refer my clients to if they need extra services. And so it's been very helpful to have that, especially here in Bellingham.
All right. So not everyone starts a business. Why did you decide, or what got into your head to make you think, oh, I can do this independently on my own?
Well, the thing is, I have worked in corporate. I worked in corporate for 4 years. I absolutely enjoyed it. It was a great experience. And then I did real estate for a couple of years as well.
Oh.
So I did have some sort of an experience being on my own. And we've, in my family, we've run businesses. My husband ran businesses for a long time. So for me, it didn't feel like a huge step. And I didn't want to go back to corporate. I didn't want to, work again in the corporate setting. And so I decided to just go off on my own and try this out. So
if I could ask, when you decided to start a business, this very big stage of life, you weren't 22, were you?
No.
Can I ask how old you were?
So 5 years ago, I was in my 30s.
That's a good answer.
Does that work? Okay.
No, that's a great answer.
Yes.
No, so it just kind of does go to show that gain a little bit of skills. And
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it right out of college.
No.
I wanted to work with a team first, and then be part of a marketing team and see how things work internally. And then I was on my own with the real estate, but still with the office. So I was
Right.
with the Moyac group, and it was great. Also, I had mentors. And so I didn't just jump in with no experience whatsoever. So I've tried a few things before I actually got into it.
It was a gradual climb.
100%. Yeah.
So with that first marketing corporate job, because that was probably right after university?
Yes, right after college. Yeah.
So have you found that past experience has really aided in your current web design?
100%. Because at that point, you're still developing the skills. And I remember when I was doing all sorts of different marketing. I wasn't just doing web design for them, but I remember it came about where they wanted me to work on a website, and it just gave me resources and to be able to learn a little bit more about it. So you can't just jump in from nothing. You have to, like I said, gradually get into it. Yeah.
So you move from marketing. So could I ask what kind of field that corporate environment was?
Yeah, it was in backup power. Power supplies, batteries.
Okay, so it's not retail, but
No.
No.
It was more industrial, commercial,
okay.
business to business.
Sure, business. Great way to classify it. So you move from that to a business to consumer real estate kind of field.
Yes.
So why did you make that transition?
I kind of wanted, I kind of wanted something different. I thought direct selling would be it. And as I discovered very quickly. It was not my wheelhouse. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed learning about it and all that, but I think it was just not something I wanted to do long term.
Yeah, it's also a really hard industry, especially Whatcom County.
Very hard to get into and to thrive in. And there's a lot of competition, a lot more competition.
Huge competition.
And for me, the schedule was the kicker because it was weekends and evenings. And, at that point I had 2 little kids and I just couldn't do that.
No, of course. So then with that particular stint, have you found that you gain skills from your work as a real estate agent?
100%. I never regret anything that I've learned, any different fields that I got into, because everything is compounded interest. So it's like everything helps you gain more perspective on what you like to do, what you don't want to do, the things that you've learned, the people that you meet. I still have, and that's why my networking social circle is pretty big, is because I have been in different industries and I know different people from different parts of town because of that. And so it really helps. It's never a loss. It's always a gain for me.
So when you took on your sister's website project, were you still practicing as a realtor?
No, at that point I wasn't. I was just trying to get back into marketing because I realized that I did not want to do direct selling anymore. I wanted to get into something creative. Yes.
So let's talk about that a little bit more, because in our last episode, you talked a little bit about how you've always kind of natively been creative.
Yes.
You play piano, you play flute. Can you talk a little bit about your creative endeavors from when you were younger?
It's been a journey. I'm always looking for something new to learn, as far as like to gain more talent and skill in. We were always big on music at home, and then singing also came along later on. I would say poetry was more in the late 20s when I started writing poetry. And I'm always open to new things, to new ways of expression, I would say. And creativity is essential for me. It's like breathing air. I have to remain constantly creative because that's what gives me the joy of life.
I've heard a lot of other like hyper creative types express it in the same way, where they have to get it out.
Yes.
Otherwise it feels like something's wrong.
Yeah. It's an expression of what's going on inside. And I love to share it with other people too. So poetry is a way that I can share some of my childhood memories or traumas or whatever it is with people. And then singing is the same way, like just sharing feelings and emotions. So I think the ultimate goal for me is just to share what I'm feeling on the inside in a beautiful artistic way. So
given that you're doing web design, it is a intrinsically creative art.
Yes.
Do you find how would I word this? Do you find that suffices your need to be creative, or do you still have to have other outlets as well?
Oh, I definitely have to have other outlets. This suffices this helps me, I think, as far as work is concerned, having a job and being paid for something, I think it satisfies that, because I have done work, like I said, with real estate, where I just didn't feel the direct selling did not do it for me. It wasn't creative enough for me. So this is an outlet for me to be creative and do work. But I also have other creative outlets that I'm always constantly pursuing. And I don't think that's ever going to change.
Right. I think you may mention that you've had a little bit of poetry published.
Yes. I have a few poems that got published. And it's with the Sidekick Press here in town. And they're coming out with a new book, basically in anthologies. I would have poetry published. So, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I have there's one coming out soon that's going to have one of my poems in it.
So you kind of answered one of the questions I was going to lead into, was like, what kind of traits or mindsets does someone kind of need to have to be a web designer? I think artistry.
Creativity, I would say, as a whole.
Creativity.
Yes, creativity, always constantly looking for new ways to translate ideas and content. Also, I would say patience. It takes a lot of patience, because you also have to sit in the chair and do work. Like, you have to sit in front of a laptop and do that. And not a lot of people are capable of doing that. So there's going to be a long hours of sitting in front of a computer and trying to deal with technical stuff as well. So patience is huge. Creativity, patience, and detail oriented. There's a lot of small details that you have to pay attention to. And you have to be super organized in order to do that. Organized, time management, all these kind of skills.
Yeah, that time management discipline, like anyone who's in any field that is remotely independent.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
critical.
As a freelancer in general, you have to have that skill. And of course, having knowledge in like business transactions, bookkeeping, that kind of stuff. So having the business side and the creative side and try to combine those two.
100%.